Hello to all lovers of World War II history and archaeology. In this video we've got several stories with military finds discovered in Russia. Let's cut right to the chase. A German cannon. While conducting excavations in the Leningrad region, diggers discovered a German 37mm Pak 35-36 cannon. The guys were excavating at German positions and didn't expect to find such an artifact at all. Despite the fact that the gun had been lying in the ground for many years, it was in good condition, only the wheels were missing. A lot of MG42 machine gun bullet casings, grenades, and even an anti-tank magnetic mine were found in the same trench. Probably the German positions were captured by the Red Army soldiers, since there were a few Soviet things among the others. A minefield. A man was walking through the forest and found a German anti-tank mine, which he immediately reported to the police. The deminers who arrived at the site began to examine the area near the find. It turned out that there were dozens of such mines in that place. Probably during the war it was a tank danger direction and the minefield was organized there by German sappers. The mines were still acting and waiting for their tanks to arrive for the last 80 years. After several days of work, 139 anti-tank mines were removed from the ground. Since this place was at a great distance from the populated areas, the deminers decided to destroy the ammunition on the spot. A propaganda leaflet mine. Propaganda is a powerful weapon for any army. It's often done by means of leaflets. At the end of 2021, the searchers discovered a Soviet 82mm propaganda leaflet mine. Fighting took place in this area until the beginning of October 1941. It's interesting how the retreating Red Army could still urge German soldiers to surrender. After opening the mine, 245 leaflets were found inside. They included an urge for German soldiers to surrender, promises of respectable treatment and return home after the war. We do not know whether any of the German soldiers switched sides in the first days of the war between Nazi Germany and the USSR after reading such a leaflet. An underground bunker. An interesting find was made in the winter of 2020 in Sevastopol. During the reconstruction work, a military bunker was discovered. On Большая Morskaya Street, an excavator accidentally opened the entrance to an underground bunker. An armored turret removed from a cruiser damaged in the first months of World War II was found there. A secret command post was located there during the defense of the city. Underground communication routes led from this turret in different directions. Historians have established that the gun turrets of this type was installed only on the WWII cruiser, which was severely damaged in 1941 by German bombers at the pier. All weapons were removed from the cruiser and sent to strengthen the defense on land, and one of the gun turrets began an underground command center. The searchers found out that this place was heavily bombed by German planes, as the entrance armor door was torn from its place and had a bend characteristic of the impact of a high-force blast wave. Historians promised to restore the find, since this is the only detail that has survived to this day from the WWII cruiser. The remains of the T-34 tank, destroyed by the explosion, were discovered by a search group on the bottom of the Mius River, 4 kilometers southwest of the village Kuybyshevo. For 3 weeks, divers washed away the 4-meter layer of silt, under which the combat vehicle parts laid. After that, with the help of heavy equipment, the remains of the 34 were taken ashore. When looking at the area, it becomes clear how the battle in 1943 took place. The German positions were located on the hills, and the only passage to them outside the direct fire zone ran along the hollow. Here, across the Mius River, Soviet engineers made a crossing. Divers found the remains of supports and boards from it at the bottom of the river. Obviously, a shell or an air bomb hit the tank just at the crossing. The ammunition detonated, the war machine was blown to bits. The crew didn't have a chance to survive. No bone remains were found, although every solid object found was carefully examined. The only thing left of the crew is a piece of a torn leather belt. The tank's personal weapon was found: machine guns, discs with machine gun cartridges. 76 pieces of live ordnance were handed over to deminers. Parts of the tank will be transported to the Don Military History Museum. In 2014, a tank was raised from the bottom of the WWII River. T-60 was hit in November 1942 during the Battle of Stalingrad. T-60 is a Soviet light tank of the Second World War. It was developed in August 1941 at the Moscow plant number 37 under the leadership of Nikolai Alexandrovich Astrov, a leading developer of the entire line of light tanks of that period. In September of the same year, the T-60 was adopted by the Red Army and mass-produced at several engineering plants. Production of the T-60 continued until February 1943, when it was replaced with a more powerful T-70 light tank. A total of 5,920 light T-60 tanks were produced and took an active part in the battles of the Second World War from 1941 to 1943. Despite the fact that the tank was damaged by the explosion and has been in the river for 70 years, the condition of the T-60 was very good. Information about the tank lying in the river was reported by the local residents. The tank doesn't have a turret, which was disrupted by an explosion. The search group reported that there are only 5 tanks of this type in the world nowadays, so the combat vehicle is rare and will be restored to the original state. On the 17th of October 2013, the search group raised a T-34 tank from the bottom of the Golubinka River in the Kalachevsky district. After recovery, it will be transferred to the Panorama Museum, Battle of Stalingrad. The tank 3476 was badly damaged by the explosion. The turret wasn't found. The searchers suggested that a large caliber shell hit the turret and tore it off. Most likely, after the war, the remains of it were sent for scrap by local residents. Ammunition and a machine gun broken by the explosion were preserved in the tank. After the dangerous items were took out, the T-34 was proceeded directly to restoration. Well, that's all for today, and thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell not to miss new videos.